Hello everyone, welcome back to the Institute of Crabs Research. Today I wanted to talk about the cognitive functions of the INFJ. So the INFJ has four main cognitive functions in its conscious or ego form. What I mean by the ego form or the conscious form is the side of the mind that all of the personality types prefer to use. So let's look at in the case of the INFJ. First of all, let's take a look at all eight of the cognitive functions to decide which four of them are the INFJs. So here we have all of them here. And as you can see, if you didn't know, the first function that an INFJ has is an introverted perceiving one. Okay, so let's see here. An introverted perceiving one is, let's see, an introverted, it's NI, it's an introverted perceiving function. And that's because the INFJ is an intuitive type. So that means that intuition is in its either its dominant or in its auxiliary function. So let's continue here. Let's look at the the second function, which will be an extroverted judging function for the INFJ. So which one of the of the two extroverted judging functions is the INFJ's? Let's see here. Is it FE or T? Well, it's not T because otherwise the INFJ would have T as its third letter in the acronym. No, it's actually FE because FE is or I mean it is its extroverted judging function. And the third function that INFJ has um, would be an introverted judging function. So which one of either Fi or Ti is in the INFJ's third function? So actually, it's not Fi like you would think it would be because you can't both have um, an extroverted and an introverted version of the cognitive function in its same four cognitive functions. So let's see here. For INFJ, it has an introverted judging function. So it's not Fi, it's Ti. And lastly, its fourth function uh, is an extroverted perceiving function. So would that either be NE or SE? Well, of course, it can't be NE because the INFJ already has NI as its dominant function. So let's see here. Oh, it's SE. So SE connects to the extroverted perceiving function. So let's look at these four functions. The Ni is basically the INFJ's cognitive function. It is the function that we use the most, and as you can see in the hierarchy, yeah, it's the function that we use the most. It's the one that we like to prefer. It's the one that we are arguably the best at. And what it stands for is introvert intuition. And introvert intuition is a thought process of collecting data in the abstract world and putting it in one single pattern. And after forming that pattern, gaining an insight from that pattern to see like, aha, it's like this. And NI is very like future focused. It's doesn't really concerned with the details. It's more concerned with the bigger picture. But it is our dominant function and it's the function that we use the most and also the one that's highest in the hierarchy. The second function is called the auxiliary function, and the auxiliary function is here. FE, extroverted feeling, stands for. Extroverted feeling stands for the tribes, so the groups, values, and feelings. That doesn't mean that the INFJ sacrifices his own feelings. And that's actually a misconception because the INFJ has NI, and NI is a function that's very like it really wants to do what it desires, not what it's told what it should do. But anyways, FE is concerned with the tribe's feelings and emotions, and I can describe extra feeling as a function that's very helpful and caring, as well as very pleasant. So, and because it is our first extroverted function, it is the function that people see uh, first when they meet us. So, in the case for a lot of INFJs, we come off as very kind and pleasant to be around. Well, that's because of FE. It's the function that is just its concerns. It cares about you. It wants you to feel good. It doesn't want to give you a bad experience, which is tied into SC, which I will get into a bit later. And the third function is it, it's TI. It is our tertiary function. And TI stands for intuitive thinking. Uh, Intuitive thinking is basically our internal reasons for doing something. Um, it is very concerned with doing something for a reason or for a particular purpose. It doesn't want to do something just because, like Anna, it should do. It really wants to have a very logical reason for doing it, and it's very concerned with it, with building like a logical inner framework uh, that um, that we can use in order to have like to know that we are right about something, basically. And lastly, our inferior function, SE, which stands for extroverted sensing. Extroverted sensing, because it's our inferior function, is the one that's very last in the hierarchy, and it's the function that we struggle the most with. Extrovert feeling, or I mean, extrovert sensing, is probably the function that, that INFJ struggle with. It's been a problem for me personally in my whole life. Like uh, I'm not really aware sometimes of my external environment, and for example, like it happens a lot that I listen to um, metal, and when I listen to metal, this happened, for example, in the class in class that I went to, was like listening to metal so loud, and I would keep like raising the volume. So, and I was because I was so into something, I just lost the awareness of that. Okay, other people might hear my music because it's so loud. And yeah, what ended up happening was that yeah, someone heard it, and yeah, really bugged them basically. And yeah, that happens to me all the time basically, where I just kind of lose control. Basically, yeah, I like to lose control of my environment, and and for the INFJ, this function can appear a as very desirable. We really want to be good at this function because we actually value it a lot. All of the 16 personality types value their inferior function the most, actually, because it's the one that um, gives us most pleasure, I would say, and the function that um, helps us to grow as people. But yeah, those were the four main cognitive functions for the INFJ, and this is just for one side of the mind that we use the most, the conscious side. And I will make a part two to this video where I'll explain about the other three sides of the mind, and I'll also explore how the INFJ can grow for going what I call the hero's journey. but that's for the next video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This was something that was a bit more experimental, uh, so it may not came across as like amazing, but yeah, I'm trying to just try out some different things for the channel, so I just don't make like the same type of video, because that would get really repetitive, I think. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.